Everyone, Ratko Tutor here explaining. In this video, we are going to look at simultaneous equations and how to solve them. So we are having this question coming from 2023 final examination, internal exam 2023 final exam. Now, how do we solve simultaneous equations? To solve simultaneous equations, you are supposed to know the methods used when solving simultaneous equations. So we have so many methods that we use when solving these simultaneous equations. Among them, we have elimination method, substitution method, matrices or matrix method. Then we also have the graphical method, that is under grade 12. So in this question, we are going to use substitution method. So substitution method, what you need to do is that if you are given these two equations, what you can do is you can label this as equation 1, then label also this as equation 2. Then after you've done that, pick one equation and make one variable as the subject of the formula. So in this case, if I'm to pick equation 1, we have the variables x and y. So I can get equation 1 and maybe make x the subject of the formula. So if I'm to do that, we can say, so we have solutions here. We have equation 1, which is x plus 2y is equal to 1. Then from this equation, we can make x the subject of the formula. So if we are to make this x the subject of the formula, we are going to have x is equal to 1 minus 2y. So this that we've made, we can call it as equation 3 rather. So equation 3. Now if that is equation 3, what we can simply do is we go back to equation 2. So you can go to this equation now because we've already used equation 1. So you go to equation 2, and whenever there is x, so where there is x in equation 2, you need to put 1 minus 2y. That's what we are going to do. So we are going to put, we get equation 2, which is x squared plus y squared is equal to 2. Meaning that where there is x here, we are going to put 1 minus 2y. That's what we are going to do. So we are going to say x, we are putting 1 minus 2y, but we need to square that. And then plus y squared is equal to 2. That's what we are supposed to do. Now, in mathematics, if you look at this one is raised to power 2. This expression is raised to power 2, meaning that we need to expand it up to the second power. So we are going to do that. So if you have that, meaning it's the same as saying we have 1 minus 2y times 1 minus 2y. Then plus y squared is equal to 2. So 1 minus 2y times 1 minus 2y plus y squared is equal to 2. So what you can simply do here is you to multiply these two here. So you multiply this and that. So by doing so, how do you multiply? You multiply like this. So let me show you. You say this times that, then this times that. Also you come to the other one down. You also say this times that, this times that. That's how we expand expressions or algebraic expressions. So by doing so, let's start. We say 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times negative 2y is minus 2y. And then we have negative 2y times 1 is going to give us minus 2y. Then minus 2y times minus 2y is a plus 4y squared. Then this is equated, or before we equate it, remember we have this plus y squared. So you can say plus y squared, and then this is equal to 2. So from here, you can look for like terms and then add them or subtract them. So from here, you can be able to see that you have the minus 2 and minus 2y that you can subtract, and then also this and that you can add. So by doing so, you are going to have 1 minus 2y, that is minus 4y. Then plus 4y squared, that is going to give us a 5y squared, and then equal to 2. After you've done that, what you can simply do is, as you can see, this equation that we formulated here is looking like a quadratic equation. So now we can write this in order and solve this equation quadratically for us to get the values of y. So let's do that. So we are going to have this equation written as 5y squared, then minus this 4y, and then plus this one here. Then these two come this other side, which is going to be minus 2, and equate this to 0, because any quadratic equation is equated to 0. So from here, we shall have 5y squared minus 4y. Then 1 minus 2 is going to give us minus 1. This is going to be equal to 0. Now, for you to get the values of y here, or the value of y, you need to solve this equation that we found here quadratically. So we're going to solve this quadratically in order for you to solve this quadratic equation. So let's try to use factorization. So to use factorization, you can get product, sum, and factors. So what is the product? So product is the first number times the last number. So the first number is 5, the last number is -1. So 5 times -1 is -5. And then the sum is the middle number. So sum is the middle number, which is -4. And then factors are two numbers that when you multiply them, you get -5. And when you add, you get -4. So do you have such numbers? Yes, we have. What are those? We have -5, 1. If you say -5, 1, I mean -5 times 1, you get the product, which is -5. And if you say -5 plus 1, you get the sum, which is -4. So by doing so, we are going to get these factors. We are going to replace them on that number which is on the middle. So we say this is 5y squared minus 5y. I've gotten out this 5. I put it as 5y. And then plus that 1. So we can say 1y, which is just written as y. Then minus this one here. Minus 1 is equal to 0. Now, after I've done that group, so we are going to group like that. You can group like that. So after grouping, what you can simply do is to find what is common here and what is common there. So what is common here is a 5y. 5y is common, then you are going to remain with y minus 1. Then plus, you also check what is common here. What is common there is going to be a 1. Open, you remain with y minus 1. Then this is equal to 0. So from here, you're able to see that what is in brackets is the same. So if it's the same, meaning you are supposed to only pick one of them. So by doing so, you get this data outside, put them together, which are 5y plus 1 in one bracket. Also, these data are the same. You only pick one, which is y minus 1 is equal to 0. So you say this is equal to 0, that also is equal to 0. So you say 5y plus 1 is equal to 0, or y minus 1 is equal to 0. Then you solve for y here, you also solve for y there. So solving for y here, you are going to have 5y is equal to -1. Therefore, for you to get the value of y, you divide by 5, you divide by 5. This and that will go, and our y is going to be -1 over 5. Then you come here, you also solve for y. Solving for y here, you are going to have y is equal to, you only take the one the other side, which is going to be a +1. So you have two values of y. You have y is equal to -1 over 5 and y is equal to 1. Now after getting the values of y, what you can simply do here is to go and get the value of x. How can you get the value of x? You go to this equation that you made here, this equation which we called as equation 3. So we know that x is equal to 1 minus 2y. So since we know that we have two values of y, you can simply replace the values of y here in order for you to get the value of x. So we are going to get that equation, which is x is equal to 1 minus 2y. So let's do that. We have x is equal to 1 minus 2y. So we can also get two values of x since we have two values of y. So we can say at y equal to 1, so we can first replace when y is equal to 1. We are going to have x to be 1 minus 2, and where there is y, we are putting 1. So we're going to have x is equal to 1 minus 2 times 1 is 2. Therefore, our x is going to be -1. Okay, then we can also say when x, so that is when y is equal to 1. Now we can also say when y is equal to, so we can say when y is equal to -1 over 5. So we're now replacing to get the value of x on this equation when y now is this value there. So by doing so, you are going to have the equation which is x is equal to 1 minus 2y. So x is equal to 1 minus 2, where there is y, we are putting -1 over 5, like that. So this will give us x is equal to 1, negative and negative is a positive, 2 over 5. So 1 plus 2 over 5 is the same as saying 1 times 5 is 5 plus 2 is 7 over 5. So this is also another value of x. So in other words, we've gotten two values for x and also two values for y. So these are the first values of y, and then these are also the values of x. So that's how we can simply solve this quadratic equation. It was a bit different how it was brought, and therefore it was very, very significant for me to take you through on how you are supposed to go about it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please follow my Facebook page, or if you are on YouTube, you can kindly subscribe so that whenever I post videos, you are able to be notified that I've posted videos. See you next time. Bye bye.